In this presentation, we're going to discuss the basics of the Windows desktop and the Windows Explorer. This is an example of the Windows desktop. As you can see, in the top left, we have programs that are shown using properties. For instance, we have the computer icon that is always going to be displayed, which has all access to your removable drives and your hard disk drives. You also have the recycle bin. When you delete a document, it gets temporarily stored in the recycle bin until you empty the recycle bin. And then you can see below the recycle bin and to the right of the computer a user's documents folder. This particular desktop has been taken from Windows Vista. Below that, I have two folder icons, and these have an arrow showing that they are actually folder shortcuts. These are two folder shortcuts that are to two folders that are used quite often by this person. We have the New Work folder and the 113 Fall 2010 folder. If you double-click on this folder icon, it will take you directly into the contents of that particular folder. Below that, you can see three program shortcuts. Program shortcuts are alias links. They allow you to quickly access particular files, folders, or in this case programs that you want to use over and often. In this case, you can see in the bottom right, there's one called LabSim, which is a laboratory simulation program that this particular user uses often in their classroom. Along the bottom of the desktop, we have what is called the Taskbar, and that is that gray bar that goes all the way from the left to the right. On the far left, we have the Windows icon, which is also known as the Start bar. Next to that, we have the Quick Launch area. In here, we have different things, such as Internet Explorer, Microsoft Outlook, as well as some other programs that are often used by this particular individual. Next to that, we have all of the programs that are currently open. In this case, the user's inbox, a PowerPoint presentation, and a couple of web browser tabs. All the way on the right-hand side, we have what is called the notification area. In this area, we also can see that there is still Microsoft Outlook, as well as a Windows Update download, a virus scan. Over to the right of that, we also have the sound icon and network icons, as well as the time and date area. In Windows Explorer, we have several areas that we want to concern ourselves with. First, we have the navigation area. The navigation area is the left and right arrow keys up at the top left. It allows us to go further into a folder or back up to a subsequent folder. Along the top, we have what is called the breadcrumbs. This allows us to find out where we are in relation to the drive. As you can see, it starts out with a double arrow to the left, which means there's even more contents above the documents folder that we can't currently see. And in this particular case, we're in the Davis folder, under the Web Pages folder, under the Student Files folder, under 113 Fall 2010 folder, and then under the Documents folder itself. As we continue to the right, we can see the Windows button. The dash line symbolizes minimization. If you click on that, this window will minimize down to the taskbar of Windows. Next to that, the square is the maximize window. If you click on that, this window will expand to take over the entire space of the desktop. And the red X will actually close this window and make it disappear from us completely. Next, we have the search pane. If you're searching for a particular file or folder, you can start typing in that name of that file or folder in the search pane. It doesn't have to be the exact name either. For instance, if I was trying to find the file called thepack.htm that's shown in the middle window here, I can just type in the word the or pack, and anything that has the word the or pack would end up showing up. Next, we have the menu bar. And from the top left going to the right, we have functions such as organize. How do we want to display the contents? Do we want to organize them based on the file type, that they're pictures or web files? Do we want to do it based on their name, which is what we're doing here? In this case, it is lab comes before the alphabetically. Next to that, we have the Views tab. And if you click on that, you can change the way that it is displayed. Here we're using a detailed view, where we have the name, date modified, and type. If we were using a large icon view instead, all we would see is the name and the picture icon of what we're looking at. Next to that, we have Open, where it allows us to open the file with a particular program. We also have Print, and we also have Burn, which will allow us to burn this file to a CD. Next, we have the Explorer window, which is this whole pane on the left side of the screen. Here at the top we have our favorite links, which are commonly accessed folders and files, and then at the bottom we have what is called the tree view, which is underneath folders. And in this case you can see the user, Miss Taylor, her contacts, desktop, and documents, and as we go down you can see the folder that we're currently in highlighted called Davis, which is a subfolder under her documents. The next thing we want to look at is our navigation pane. And as we're talking about here on the left side, there are two ways to navigate. One is through the favorite links, and one is through the folder subdirectories, as we just talked about. And then on the right-hand side, we have what's called the preview pane. And in this preview pane, we actually are seeing the contents of a file. In this case, the pack.html, which is a web file, we can see on the right-hand side, there's our four-legged family, 5 dogs, and if we scroll down, we'd see more of that web page being shown in that preview pane. If it was an image, similarly, we would see the image there. And then the last thing we have is our details pane, which is what is taking up the bottom of our screen. It tells us the file that is selected, in this case the pack.htm, is an HTML document. They tell us the date it was last modified, the date it was created, and the file size. We can actually customize this to tell us who actually created the file, what program they used, and other such details if we so desire.